Okay, it's Goldman here again today, and we're going to talk about mode. Now, the reason you've got mode is to introduce a delay after the transmit. So, understand that small targets have a very small energy and it dissipates very quickly. Therefore, the QED's got to pick it off very early after the transmit. Now, the transmit in this graph is the blue line. And the decay curve after the transmit's turned off is this decay curve in red, and the delay is the crosses here, which are the modes 1 through to 10 that I'm dealing with today. I'm not going to deal with mode 11, which is beach mode today. So understand that small targets lose their energy very quickly, and to be able to pick them off you've got to have a small delay, the smallest delay after the transmit turns off. So mode 1, 8 microseconds after the transmit. And every other mode from then on has a 0.5 of a microsecond increase in that. So it gets up to about 12.5 at mode 10. So small targets dissipate energy very quickly. Large targets hold their energy for longer, and therefore you can pick them off a bit later in the decay curve. So on this graph here we've got along the bottom time and of course energy up the side. Now mode 1, small coil, small targets, shortest decay curve, whereas larger coils you can use higher modes. They hold their energy longer and you can pick them off later on the decay curve. Now mineralisation has gets energized as well along the way, so but it dissipates its energy fairly quickly. But still, if you want to get past that mineralization and it's in a very heavily mineralized area, you just simply increase your modes. Don't be afraid to increase your modes, because you'll get a quiet detector and you'll then pick out targets through the mineralization in a higher mode. But just be aware that you will lose sensitivity to small targets the further you come down, the further you go up in mode numbers. So if you're up about mode 10, unlikely you're going to pick up the smallest target. With mode 1, for the small coil, you will pick up the smallest target. But if you did increase it to mode 10, there's a good chance you won't pick up the smallest targets that you were in mode 1. Simply because you're picking it off later in the decay curve, some microseconds later. So it makes a big difference. What else can I say about this? Ground balance. So with a coil you would choose the mode the lowest mode in which you can ground balance the coil. So in Western Australia, for example, my 15 Evo, I couldn't get it ground balanced less than about mode 6. My 11-inch Elite, I can ground balance that in mode 3, sometimes in mode 2 if it's in a benign area like south of Ballarat. My X coil, 12x6 S coil, 8-inch Commander and Sadie, I can definitely get that in mode 1. But if you don't know what mode your coil is, just start mode 1, try and ground balance. If it doesn't, go to mode 2, try and ground balance. If you can't get it balanced in mode 2, go to 3 and find your mode at which it will ground balance in perfectly. And that's the mode for that coil. So pretty much that's what I want to say about modes. Use them to your own benefit. So if it's a very mineralized area and you're getting too much noise and you can't ground balance, just push it up the modes. Don't be afraid to push up mode to keep the detector quiet. And as you go up the modes, you'll be able to push your other levers up, like your threshold A and threshold B, and gain, because your noise level would have decreased. So you know you can do that as well to get your depth and so on back to a point. But just bear in mind, with a small target, small mass, lose its energy very quickly. You won't pick it up if you're down here in modes, even with a small coil. Alright, that's it. Goldman out.